Well, the books that I have written, the concept, the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept, is directed toward victims of white supremacy. That's why the subtitle is a textbook workbook for thought, speech, and/or action for victims of white supremacy. Now, there are things in it that are universal. 1 and 1 is 2 for everybody. Cause and effect. And basically, all my book is saying is that we have a world in which people are acting incorrectly, and that all people should be acting correctly. So you mentioned one word there. See, words are very important. If you have some people who call themselves feminists, first thing you want to know is, what's the definition of a feminist? And then the next thing you want to know is, what does a feminist do that nobody else does? Otherwise, why be a feminist if you're going to be doing what everybody else does? See, so these are, it's just questions. All problems are solved through the process of questions and answers. So that would be the first step. If a lady comes up to you, or if a male comes up to you and say, he or she is a feminist. I'm a feminist. I don't want to talk about nothing else. I want to talk about being a feminist. Then you ask that person a logical question. What is a feminist? And then what does a feminist do in 9 areas of activity? Now, that's how my book can be used. See, everything is in the words. Look at every word in that definition. And then, just like this whole conversation this morning was about, at the end of all the definitions, and even if the definitions do not make sense to you, I mean, that's the definition that they are given. So then, it's one thing that you are left with, even if you can't understand the definition that the person is given. You still ask the question, what is it that you are supposed to do? Or anybody who is a feminist, what does that person do that nobody else on the planet does? Because there's a reason for being a feminist. So you're going to be doing something unique.
Right.
That's just like if I say I'm a carpenter. That means that I'm doing something that's very distinctive. It's not just like you just can't classify me as being an airplane pilot or a chauffeur or something like that. I said I was a carpenter. And if you have never heard the word carpenter before, the logical codified procedure, according to the textbook for victims, is to ask the question of the person who is using the word, sir, ma'am, what is a carpenter? And presumably the person will give you an answer that you can understand. Now, if you can't understand the answer that they're given, then that calls for more questions. So when they say, I'm a feminist, and they give you, they speak in about 15 pages of what a feminist is, but you don't understand anything that they're saying because they're talking in such a different language, you might say, that you don't even have any comprehension of what they're saying, then you have to ask them another question. Can you tell me what you're talking about in words that I can understand? Is there any tools that you can pick out? Otherwise, what's the point in you telling me what you're telling me? It's just like I'm talking now. If I say anything on this radio program that people do not understand, the burden is on me. I'm doing the talking. I should be able to explain in detail everything that I have to say in a way that the listener understands what I'm saying. If the listener does not understand what I'm saying, I'm wasting everybody's time. And I'm doing a disservice to everybody that I'm talking to. The whole purpose for talking to people is that the person understands very clearly what you're saying, why you're saying it, and last but not least, what you're trying to accomplish by what you're saying. Because you're not supposed to be talking to anybody on this planet, not even for 5 minutes, unless you're trying to tell them what you're trying to accomplish. That's the goal. If that's not clear in your mind about what they're trying to accomplish, when a person says, well, I'm a feminist, Well, what are you trying to accomplish? See, it comes down to that two-letter word again, do. What is it you're trying to do as a feminist? Ma'am,
Right.
sir, if you are a feminist, what is it that you are trying to do? And why are you telling me that you're a feminist? Because evidently you're telling me because you want me to do something. What is it you want me to do? It's always that doing part. That's the part we seem to never get to. We never get to the doing part. And the doing part is the only thing that really counts. How everybody feels about anything doesn't mean a thing without the doing part.